There is a story written not on paper, but pressed into humble clay. A story that has waited 4,000 years to be heard. It comes from Sumer, a cradle of civilization in ancient Mesopotamia. Its people were pioneers, some of the first to build cities, write laws, and ask profound questions about our place in the universe. Without ink or parchment, they took soft clay from the riverbeds and pressed wedge-shaped marks into it. This script, cuneiform, gave voice to their thoughts, fears, and beliefs. Buried for millennia, thousands of clay tablets have survived the long march of history, each a small window into an astonishingly complex world. While many record the mundane details of daily life, a special few hold something more. They hold the myths, epics, and sacred narratives that tell us not just how these ancient people lived, but what they believed they were living for. Among them lies an answer to a question that has haunted humanity. Why are we here? This small piece of fired earth tells a story of gods, mortals, and creation. It suggests humanity was a deliberate solution to a divine problem, placing labor at the center of our purpose. This idea may feel foreign, as we often see work as just a means to an end. Yet, this ancient story speaks to our innate need to build, create, and contribute, suggesting our purpose was defined from the very beginning. The Sumerian story of creation begins not with humanity, but with the gods. Long before our existence, deities like Enlil and Enki, along with younger gods called the Igigi, performed all the labor of the cosmos. They dug the great rivers, Tigris and Euphrates, and shaped the very land. But this divine labor was not without cost. The tablets describe how the gods grew weary, their toil endless, and their burden heavy. The gods felt exhaustion. Their cosmic construction project had become an unbearable chore, and a divine rebellion was brewing. The great gods convened a council where Enki proposed a radical idea: create a new being to take over the hard labor. Fashioned in their image but mortal, intelligent but subservient, Lulu, the first man, was born to serve humanity, a practical invention. Maintain the canals, till the fields, provide offerings. Our existence was a contract. In return for life, we bore the yoke of labor, a sacred duty to maintain the order the gods established. This story of creation for labor wasn't confined to Sumer. As empires rose and fell, the myth was adopted and adapted. The Akkadians, who conquered the Sumerians around 2300 BCE, absorbed their culture, gods, and stories. Akkadian scribes translated Sumerian texts, ensuring the tale of the weary gods and their human helpers survived. The core idea stayed intact, even as names and details shifted. The powerful Babylonians wove it into their creation epic, the Enuma Elish. In their version, humanity was made to bear the toil of the gods. This epic became hugely influential, its verses recited at grand festivals. The story then travelled north to the Assyrian Empire, whose scribes meticulously copied and preserved these ancient stories in vast libraries, ensuring their survival. Thousands of unearthed administrative tablets reveal the day-to-day life in Sumer. These aren't grand epics, but the world's first spreadsheets filled with work. The cuneiform symbols record lists of laborers, their assignments, and their rations. They list men and women assigned to dig irrigation channels, harvest barley, and build temple walls. Tablets from cities like Ur and Lagash detail the management of vast temple-owned lands, listing the ploughmen and seeders who kept the cities fed. This was not just business, it was a sacred duty. By cultivating the land, people fulfilled their purpose, providing sustenance for themselves and their divine masters. Beyond the fields, the tablets chronicle a bustling urban economy. They list artisans and record materials allocated, like copper for a smith, and receipts for finished goods delivered to temple storehouses. The temple was the heart of this system, a spiritual center, administrative hub, and massive economic institution. Sumerian tablets describe legions of temple workers, from cooks and brewers to scribes. Each job was part of a cosmic machine, a fulfillment of the contract between humanity and the divine. This belief that humans were created for work was a powerful tool for social order. In a world of flood and famine, It provided stability and shared purpose. Priests and kings could justify the strict social structures governing their cities. Everyone had a place defined by their work, legitimizing the authority of the temple and palace. Temples were seen as the literal homes of the gods on earth. Therefore, working for the temple, farming its land, delivering offerings, was the most direct way to serve the gods. Vast wealth accumulated in the temple storehouses: grain, oil, wool, and precious metals. The king derived his authority from the gods, acting as the chief servant of the city's patron deity. His primary duty was to organize his people's labor to meet divine needs. Royal inscriptions boast of building temples and digging canals. These were not just public works, but acts of piety to ensure the land's prosperity and secure divine favor for his city. This system provided clear rules and expectations. Administrative tablets show a society where contributions and rewards were carefully tracked through detailed lists of jobs and rations. This created a predictable and orderly, if highly stratified, society. While lacking the individual freedoms we value today, it provided a powerful sense of collective identity and security. The Sumerians wrote this story down to organize the present and build a stable future. In the Atrahasis epic, the gods create humans to do their work. The mother goddess Nintu takes clay, mixes it with the blood of a slain god, and shapes the first mortals. Formed from the soil they were destined to till, their purpose was bound to the earth. The gods then provided the tools for this labor: the pickaxe and the brick mold, essential for digging canals and building cities. For the Sumerians, work was not a punishment, but a sacred gift from the gods. It was a divinely ordained skill set, enabling humanity to survive and flourish. The concept was broad, encompassing the farmer in his field, the priest in the temple, and the artisan at their craft. Work, in all its forms, was the mechanism through which humans participated in the cosmic order, keeping the world from sliding back into chaos. Your job was your essential contribution to the functioning of the universe. This chain of service gave a profound sense of purpose. Even mundane tasks were not just labor, they were quenching the thirst of a god, sustaining the fabric of existence. Reading these ancient lines today can be startling. A modern reader might recoil from the idea of being created for servitude, a cog in a divine machine. Our culture values individual freedom, a stark contrast to this preordained duty. As we look closer at our own lives, the Sumerian tablet holds up a strange and compelling mirror. The question of purpose has not vanished. It has simply changed its form. We may no longer believe we are working for the gods, but the search for meaning through work remains a powerful force. We seek careers that are personally fulfilling, a calling, not just a job. Is our work today truly so different? Build our communities and push society forward. We create art, we innovate with technology, and we care for the sick. While we may not be consciously serving a pantheon of deities, are we not also serving a larger system? Perhaps that system is the economy, progress, the collective good. The tablet suggests that this drive to work, to build, and to maintain is not just a social construct, but something fundamental to our nature. This ancient narrative does not provide easy answers. The Sumerian tablet, with its stark declaration of purpose, acts as a sounding board for our own beliefs. It challenges us to examine where we find our own sense of purpose, in professional achievements, family, or art. It invites us to consider whether work is merely a duty or a primary source of meaning in our lives. Cuneiform hymns reveal the hopes, fears, and joys of the Sumerians. Their relationship with the gods wasn't purely transactional, but one of reverence, gratitude, and profound anxiety. We read a farmer's thanks for a bountiful harvest, his relief palpable across millennia, and find desperate prayers for rain during a drought. These are the expressions of people with a rich inner world, feeling a personal connection to the divine. The stories themselves are filled with drama and feeling, like the junior gods groaning under their labor. Some tablets contain sorrowful laments, questioning why the gods abandoned their people. These texts reveal a complex emotional landscape where duty, devotion, fear, and faith coexisted. When we read these tablets, we are not just deciphering an ancient code, we are connecting with the hearts and minds of people who lived long ago. This 4,000-year-old Sumerian tablet is more than a curious artifact. It's one of our earliest recorded attempts to answer the fundamental question of our existence. The answer it provides, that we were created to work and serve, is a testament to the values of a civilization that laid the groundwork for our world. But it is a single viewpoint from one culture and must be approached with caution. This myth's value isn't in its literal truth, but in what it reveals about the human need for meaning. It shows how one of the world's first societies constructed a worldview that gave dignity to labor and order to their world. In an age of increasing automation, the question of our purpose is more relevant than ever. The Sumerian myth grounds our modern anxieties in an ancient tradition of inquiry. The clay is old, but the message it carries is timeless. The tablet is a mirror, reflecting our own enduring quest for a place to stand and a reason to build. It tells us that our hands were made to shape the world, our minds to understand our role within it, and our hearts to find meaning in the task. From clay, we learn our place.